Welcome to OLM Live. I'm Christie Taylor, the creative liaison for O Location Memphis and the Memphis Music Bank. And today we have Sabrina Spence of What Media Incorporated from Toronto, Canada. Welcome to OLM Live, all the way from Toronto.
Thanks so much.
I am super excited to find out more about you, about your company, and the film community in Toronto, which of course is a world leader. But first, I always like to get the bio. I like to know who I'm talking to, learn more about your journey into film and into entertainment. So Sabrina, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so I started in, I went to school for film, obviously, and I started in programming. So I was programming short films for a movie channel for about 3 or 4 years, and then moved into feature films. From there, I went into production. I produced short films and also television shows. And just after that, I had the opportunity to start working with What Media on the sales side. So I was filling in there for our general manager. And then just after that, once she returned back, I've continued on as a consultant in our acquisition side. But now I've gone back more into production.
Wow, that's a beautiful resume. And I know that you're not a seasoned saint like me. And growing up in church, we call seasoned saints, or like the older people. So you have an impressive resume. Salute to you. Talk about film school. I just want to kind of get a little background. What was your primary focus when you were in film school eons ago?
So I went to Brock University in St. Catharines in Canada, in Ontario. But it was more of a focus on like film studies and history and business. And then we had a short program on production as well.
I love a film buff. I love it. So of course, we have a very nerdy conversation, but we're going to get more into what you're into now, moving into acquisition, into production. What made you decide between those two? You know, what I should say more so, what do you find appealing about both sides in the film industry, production and acquisition?
So I mean, right now on the production side, I love content, and especially now in the times that we are in, having things to watch and having things to entertain us and to take us out of the world that we're in, I think it's been an amazing opportunity. You know, we have all of these services that are available at our fingertips that we can travel to any part of the world from our living rooms and hear so many different stories from different perspectives. And I think that part is really inspiring, and I've always had an attraction to that. And then on the acquisition side, obviously I want to have those stories reach everyone, and I'd love to like have everyone see, you know, filmmakers' perspectives from all over the world.
Now, Sabrina, Toronto is a film industry leader. You know, Toronto International Film Festival has definitely been something that we in America, like I want my stuff shown at 3 or 4 different places, and one is, you know, Sundance, Toronto, and Cannes. You know, those are like the ones. So growing up in Toronto, tell me what exactly is the film community and for it to have developed that type of prestige in the world?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
As far as Toronto becoming a world leader in the industry, tell me about that community, the film community itself that led to that type of prestige in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the film community here is really great. And the festival, I mean, we have not only just have Toronto International Film Festival, but we have like the Real Asian Film Festival. We have like all of these different festivals across the city that can target different groups. You know, we have Breakthrough Film Festival as well. And I think all of that builds just a larger community that can offer up something like TIFF, right? Once we have access to all of that.
Okay. Now, I know that we're in Memphis, Tennessee. So oftentimes, you know, because I'm not privy as of yet, the closest I've lived to Canada was in Detroit. We could go across the border into Canada to chill for an evening. But not being very familiar with the Canadian lifestyle, and particularly in the arts. So I'm sounding like a Southerner and sounding like a true American, not as worldly as I could and should be. Can you give me a little bit more information about what really nurtured Canadian art and film, just historically? Because you're a film buff, so I know you probably have some insight to that.
That's a really hard question to answer on the spot. I mean, for us right now, we have a really great opportunity. We have access to tax credits that our government, both provincial and federal, offer filmmakers, and different incentives to make film here. So I think that really drives our industry forward.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. To be able to have that kind of funding and that support from those two entities really does nurture creativity. So let's get to the business of what media. Tell me about the origin of it and what it does, and what it looks to do in the world space.
So What Media is primarily a sales agent for short films, specifically. We've been in the business for just under 15 years. So what our business model is that we acquire short films internationally, and then we are able to sell them to both broadcasters, online platforms, and streaming services, internationally as well. So we're the middleman between our filmmakers and people that are supplying content.
Okay, so as a person who has been a short film producer and director and creator yourself, what can you advise filmmakers who would love to have their short films put out, distributed worldwide, as far as their production quality?
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that I love talking to filmmakers about, because it's generally part of our industry that we don't know. Not everyone knows a lot about. But there's sales available especially for your short films, right? So I think one of the major points that I like to put across to filmmakers is to really understand what you want and what you expect from the short film that you're making. So do you want to build your network? Do you want to have this film be your calling card for your feature film? Do you want to get this short film out there because politically it's driving you forward with a message or something like that, So I kind of have that idea of what you want your short film to do for you, and then start to build a plan that way. I think, the best way to start is to go with your festival circuit, and try and get into as many festivals that really speak to what you want to do with your short. And then from there, contacting sales agents so that they are able to know what kind of audience that has seen your film. And then we build our sales strategy based off of kind of what festivals you've hit, and what kind of audiences have seen your film.
Okay, so you're speaking to the short film festival circuit, as well as the larger festivals. For a filmmaker that's particularly in the Memphis or the Mid-South region, I don't know how well you know how the states are lined up. Most of our coastal cities like New York, LA, then you have the Miami, even Atlanta is very hot now. Chicago and Dallas has a lot of strong, art communities and connectivity. But in a state like Tennessee, we're in the middle of the state. However, we're in the middle of the states, geographically, but oftentimes when it comes to commerce, particularly when it comes to industry, we are not as privy to some of the more mainstream approaches. So a lot of guerrilla filmmaking is done here in Tennessee and in the Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama region, which is called the Mid-South. When it comes to, even in Canada, I know you always have those areas that are off the beaten path or, close but not close. What do you typically advise those who are not in the hot spots when it comes to the film industry, when it comes to really being able to be a contender, when it comes to projects seen and purchased?
Yeah, I don't know that it necessarily makes, I mean, obviously you don't have as much access to resources, not being in those major cities, but I think because of and especially in this year, what we have available to us online, you can really access all of those resources. Like, you can still try and attend those festivals, whether you attend them online or just even looking up the industry contacts that are available at those festivals. Usually if we're attending a festival, we're listed on their website as a guest or as a panelist or as an industry member or anything like that. And so just knowing who's out there and just doing your research, I think is the best way to really figure out how to get your film out there and to find out more about what you're looking for. It's to just read and contact as many people as possible. And some may not respond, but some will, and some, attending events like this and watching, talking to as many people as you possibly can just to build your network is the best way to approach that.
Now, with us being stateside, what are some of the film festivals that you are particularly, as you say, that you take into consideration in your decision making? What are some of those U.S. film festivals that you like? Okay, they hit that one. What are some of those?
Well, obviously Sundance and South by Southwest are really big ones, and Tribeca. We really love Palm Springs as well as a short film festival, and Rhode Island, and yeah, there's a long list. And I mean, we're also always looking for the festivals that offer Oscar qualifying awards. Those are really important to us as well. For our company, we only take on 20 new titles per year. We're a small team, but we like to focus just on our slate. And we take those titles on for just about a 2-year term. So once we kind of, the life of your short film would look something like this, where you would create your short, you would look at your festival premieres, whether that's in North America or in Europe, and then you kind of build your festival circuit that way. During that festival circuit, you would reach out to your sales agents, or maybe just after the premiere, you would reach out to a sales agent, talking to us or anyone in the industry. And then we would then kind of look at what your festival circuit is doing, and from there build our sales strategy, where we would kind of approach our clients and our buyers who would take the least amount of territories for the most amount of money, and start to build out a sales plan that way.
Excellent. Now, OLM on location Memphis really focuses on a lot of educational approaches to the industry, because we are not in a media center or film center. When it comes to sales agent, I had a brief time to live out in LA, so I became a little bit more exposed to some of that. But when it came to really learning how, as a content creator, to work with a business side, what are some of the do's and the don'ts when it comes to approaching production companies, sales agents, companies like yours that are doing distribution? What are the do's and the don'ts?
For sure do your research. Know exactly who you're talking to. We've had at times people send us their short film, but we're on a list of all of the sales distributors in the world. And, we want to know that you've taken the time and know that you are sending us your film because you legitimately want to work with us. And just kind of, know that you've spent the time to do that. So I think that that's like a really important, is to do your research and know, for example, looking at our slate of films, like what kind of films we've represented in the past. Does your film fit into that? Like, we don't necessarily always represent a lot of very experimental films. It's something that we tend to go towards. So if your film is very experimental, maybe we're not the right choice for you, but maybe there's another distributor who is the right choice for you. So finding that and going in that direction is the best way.
Well, speaking of slate of films, it sounds like you're very curated. Let's speak to what you do look for at Watt Media.
So, I mean, we're always looking at the festival circuit to see what's out there, what films are being played at what festivals. We find that a lot of our buyers, having a very long relationships with them, we know kind of what they're looking for and what films that they like to program in either broadcast or on their platform. So I don't want to narrow it down. It's not like, oh, we're only looking for comedy or only looking for this, but we do like a film that has been able to do a good festival run.
Okay. So I do understand as far as the more abstract art-based films. So when it comes to production quality, going that direction, what do you tend to require?
I mean, we need a very good production quality. We can't have. I mean, we're selling our shorts to television, like broadcasters and things around the world. So something that has the quality to go onto television and onto like our big platforms like Amazon or anything like that. Like we need to have a very good quality. In terms of like length and things like that, we tend to stick to films that are under 30 minutes.
Okay.
But if you think about the programming process, especially for something on television, you don't want to have to program a 30-minute short film and then realize it's not enough time to fit in any more shorts in your 1 hour program with commercial time, right? So you want to
by chance, I'm just slightly familiar with TV time. Are you doing the 28-30 rule when it comes to those shorts, where it's 28 minutes and 30 seconds for commercial breaks, or is it literally within a 1 hour block for shorts?
It depends who we're selling to, but yeah, so like it would either be within a 1 hour block or a half-hour block. But both have commercial time usually. So if you're a full 33-minute short film, then that's very difficult to program with anything else.
Okay, now as far as micro shorts, what's the least amount of time?
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
The 60-second short can also work.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen it.
Okay. So what's the process for submission to your company?
So we have a submission email. So it's distribution@whatmedia.com. And so that goes directly to our screening team. And usually one or if not all of us will screen every film that comes into us.
Okay. And just for the educational purposes, give us that process after submission.
So after submissions, usually you'll get an email within a few days just saying that we've received it and everything looks great. And then usually you have to give us about a month to get through all of our shorts that we have to watch. And then at that point, we'd be able to get back to you whether it's something that we can discuss further with you or it's a no on our end, and hopefully maybe we can work together on something else in the future. But if we do decide to work further with you, we'll then set up like a phone call or email to discuss what you're looking for and what we can expect for your film and see if it's a good fit. I mean, we like to work with our filmmakers kind of like it's like a partnership, we want to work for our filmmakers and we want to make sure that the film also does well for us. It's our business model, right? So because we're a small team and we only take on a certain amount of films, we want to make sure that it's something that we are confident in doing. And knowing that what your plan is for not only your film, but for your career as a filmmaker, we want to know that we're working for you as well.
And you said it's a 2-year relationship initially?
Yeah, usually. I mean, there are exceptions to that, but usually we like to do a 2-year term. It gives us the amount of time to like really kind of get your film out there. And like, sometimes a contract with one of our clients might be exclusive for 1 year, then we can send it out to more clients after that 1 year is up, right? So it gives us the amount of time that we need to really get your film out there.
Okay. Now, one of the last things I really want to talk about is a lot of filmmakers, even in the short world, because they don't think they can monetize it, they just put it out online themselves. How does that impact their ability to use, formal distribution?
That actually really hurts your sales for sure. I think my biggest advice for filmmakers when they are talking to me about going online, yes, I understand that you want to just reach a big audience as fast as possible. However, you're not always going to do that. Like your film may not always go viral. Your film may not always reach 100,000 people or something like that. So what we like to do and how we like to approach our films is that, let us get some sales under your belt. Let us show that you can be a filmmaker that can monetize their film and can make like a living out of it. And like not a living, but like just make money off of your film and then kind of build your career that way and like show people that you like I've had my film shown on this television station or in these territories and really show for that.
Mm-hmm.
But then from there, after all of those like licenses are up, once we've done those sales, your film can still go online.
Okay, so just for the purpose of this conversation, as we get to the wrap up, just to be clear, you're based in Toronto. You do worldwide distribution on various platforms, traditional television, as well as other new media distribution. And your advice to filmmakers is to know that you can, first of all, monetize your shorts, which of course is a new idea because many people just did it for, a show just to kind of get their feet wet. But to also think in this conversation that, yes, definitely utilize this platform as something, use your short film, should I say, for, I want to say this, creating a movie that can actually be sold. Because I think sometimes filmmakers don't always think in the short film discipline that I can sell this and that it's not just a hobby, it's not just something to practice, but to really approach it as if it's a feature film. That's one of the things, this show particularly, we've been trying to educate our Tennesseans and our Mid-South filmmakers that every piece of content that you create, that we're doing it for the sole purpose of teaching you how to monetize your film, how to make that money. So that's one reason why relationships with you are extremely important, because first of all, to educate them that there are companies that are accepting their films in short form, that will monetize them, that will distribute them worldwide, the importance of high quality. I just wanted to make sure I was recapping.
Perfect.
A lot of these questions, oftentimes they're like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Really knowing that they can do their local film festivals, but also look at the top tier films festivals that you've listed, as potentials to submit to. One that most people sleep on is Rhode Island. A lot of people don't, everybody wants to do, Sundance, South by Southwest in Austin. But Nashville has a Academy recognized film festival. Memphis on location. Memphis, of course, we are more in the educational space, but we have Indie Memphis that is also in pursuit of being Academy sanctioned. So just educating our filmmakers in our region that there are many ways to put them on a path to really having a career in this industry and to make their money even as they're in the short film discipline. So I just kind of wanted to preach that in all that you said. And all that you said, I wanted to bring that point back out. As we go, I do want to give you the space to give us any final instructions, because we're utilizing this platform as an opportunity to have people like yourself that we normally can't, just put our hands on, to give us some really deep insight into what the industry is doing now. We are in the midst of a global pandemic. The industry itself is changing. And what do you see in the present, and what do you see for the next 12 to 24 months when it comes to both short and long form film?
That is such a hard question, and I've been asked that question so many times over the last few months. But I think I mean it's been a learning curve for everyone in the industry. Like no one has gone through a global pandemic, and like even seasoned producers and seasoned programmers or anything like that. So I think it's all new for everyone. And I think now is a really, really great time to be like a guerrilla filmmaker and to get your things out there, maybe not in the same way that we've done in the past, but maybe creating new new processes and really learning about, like, we're all kind of on the same level at this point in time, right? So, and you have access to so much, people, like all of these film festivals are really trying to open up online and still trying to bring that global audience to their city and to their programming, and you're able to access it from your home. So I think looking for those opportunities to see what's available to you right now, I think is a really great way to go. And I can't stress enough, it's just educating yourself about, what festivals are programming what. Where does your film fit into this? What are people looking for? What are you seeing on television? What are you what's new and different? What's, just trying to consume as much as possible of the content that's available to you.
Thank you so much. That's some great insight. So as a fun fact on the way out, what are some of your favorite films that you have actually put onto the marketplace that we can research and check out?
So I mean, we've represented a lot of films. We've represented 11 Oscar nominated films. So we've represented Shock and Balcony, and we have a really great relationship with Canopy, which is an education platform who also show short films. So they've are accessible through schools and public libraries. So I think you can kind of look through some of our short films on there as well. We represented an animation short that won the Webby Award last year called Two Balloons, and that one did really well. So yeah, and all of our films are listed on our website.
Okay, and that website is ouatmedia.com. That's ouatmedia.com. And it is pronounced
What? Yeah.
Now, did you tell them what the acronym stands for? I loved it.
Oh, so it's Once Upon a Time. So OUAT.
Once Upon a Time. I love that. I love that. Last thing, thank you. Thank you very, very much. We greatly appreciate you taking out time from your busy schedule to share with us. And if you ever need us for anything, let us know. And from my heart to Angela Green, who is the Executive Director of On Location Memphis, we truly, truly thank you, Sabrina, and be sure to tell Kelly as well that we greatly appreciate you all taking time to share with us. And we look forward to sending you all some amazing short films. We do have some stellar filmmakers who are interested in formal distribution and to be able to possibly be repped by a company in Toronto would be a really nice, feather in our hat. So thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, be sure to check out Sabrina Spence. You can go to their website, www.ouatmedia.com. That's ouatmedia.com. And again, thank you all for checking out On Location Memphis's OLM Live.
Thanks so much.